Welcome to the Whiskey, Jazz, and Leadership Podcast. Subscribe now so you don't miss a drop of straight talk you can't get anywhere else. We discuss the whiskeys to drink, music to listen to, and what it really takes to be an effective leader. I'm your host, Galen Bingham, the leadership strategist. Tonight's guest, international speaker, author, and founder of Believe University, Nick Dillon. Hey, what you drinking? Okay, how did you like our last conversation? When I tell you I am reaching for my friends that will return my call, I'm not kidding. These are just folks who I know and who know me and are willing to have a conversation. And I'm going to keep this going because count this as your warning that you're going to need a brand new notepad. You're going to need a brand new notepad because this guest is another one that I went through some training with. And, you know, he and I kind of came up to a certain degree, came up through this emotional intelligence training piece together, where I focus on being a leadership strategist and trying to help you play at the highest possible level. This guy is about helping you believe in yourself. And I can't even give you the full depth of where he comes in. So I'm just going to bring into this conversation Mr. Nick Dillon, the Believe coach. Welcome, my man. What is going on?
What's happening? What's happening? Nice to be in the house, man. Nice to be in the house.
Man, I'll tell you, I've been working through our crew from emotional intelligence training, beyond emotional intelligence. We've had Miss Michelle Neverez, we've had Carol Alzen Calbanez, and we've had just everybody, man. And you are like rounding it out. You are rounding it out. Man, I got so much to catch up with you on because we haven't talked in a bit, although you are all over social media. You are all over the world. So, man, this is going to be an education for me as well. But to begin my education and to start the education for my listeners, I got to ask this ever important question. So what you drinking?
I got, and for those of you who can see this or know this, see, this is what I call my, this glass, this mug refers to a reality show. But what I'm drinking in it is a margarita. So we just margarita today. We taking it light. It's kind of beginning of the week, midweek. So we kind of taking it light. But this is my special mug from a reality TV show. I got them for myself here.
Okay, all right. You weren't on that reality show, were you?
I wish.
All right, I just gotta check. I gotta check. Well, hey. So my listeners know that I put some thought into the whiskeys that I drink based upon the conversation that I'm anticipating to have. And every conversation that I've had that you've been a part of, it's just been a good conversation. It's just been absolutely, no matter how you want to rate it, no matter what scale you want to use, whether you want to talk straight up leadership, whether you want to talk emotional intelligence, whether you want to talk scripture, it really doesn't matter. It's just a good conversation. So I reach for something that is always good. But I didn't stop there because Basil Hayden by itself is just always good. But I decided to reach for not only just Basil Hayden, but this is a 10-year version. This is aged 10 year. Kentucky straight bourbon, artfully aged, and you might tell it's got kind of a cool looking bottle there, the gray label. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and crack this open, get this started. Let me go ahead. Nice little cork play there. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can feel. I can taste I can smell the rye. Now I'm not a rye drinker, but this has a little bit of rye spice in it. because I think we're going to get into some spicy conversation. And so I'm going to sit and enjoy this Basil Hayden 10-year-old. And I would love for you to share your background. Walk us through what it takes to become the Believe coach. Because, anybody can call themselves a coach. And anyone can say that they believe, but when you say I'm the Believe coach, you're making a brand promise. So what does it take? What did it take for you to get to a point where you can consistently deliver against that brand promise?
Absolutely. And I'll piggyback on the 10-year-old whiskey you got there. So I want to take it back maybe 10 years. Well, you could take it back 10 years times maybe four. And at about maybe 16 years old or so, the pivoting point, if you will, for me in believing is that was a point in my life where I didn't believe in myself, didn't believe I would live to see the age of 18, didn't believe that life was worth living, and was really in a spiraling downward kind of mental mentality. And so at that age, I planned my own suicide. And I say that for the listening audience because September is kind of Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And it got dark for me. It was one of those moments where it was not okay to be okay for me because of life and what I had going on. And at that time, being teased, bullied in school and taunted, and I had some major health challenges at the time. So I just wasn't in a good space mentally, emotionally, and at that time, physically. And so I can identify in a reflection where my beliefs were. And so I can identify to the strong, attachment that one can have to their beliefs about themselves, about their potential, about their what they see their values as it relates to driving their motivation. And at that time in my life, it was driving my motivation to plan my own suicide. And so you fast forward 40 plus years, and essentially, as programming may have it, the only reason I'm here, besides God Himself, is in my household growing up, mom would call us. And whenever mom called, she needed you to answer, but she also needed you to hear you coming to see what she wanted.
Yeah, you can't just say, yeah. You can't just say, yeah.
Right. She needed to hear some movement, some footsteps, and something. And so programming said, Mama called, you got to go do and see what she wants. And so I did that and never went back down in the basement where I was to carry it out. But that started, I would say, the 40 plus year journey of believing. And so when I stand before you, 56 years old, telling you today that I am the Believe coach, I have acquired that through my own ability to take myself from zero beliefs to believing that I have endless possibilities to be whatever I need to be in life. And so to be able to get to that space, I know has taken a lot of work of self development in me. And so I'm very intentional about working with individuals, including myself and the people I interact with, so that they can live and be their highest self possible. Because I believed the names I was called. I believed that I wouldn't amount to nothing. I believed that I wouldn't live. And I've been able to evolve into, wow, man, that misery birthed a ministry in me, if you will, and purpose in me that allows me to live and be the highest expression of myself that I can. So when I'm talking belief and mindset, I know it on both ends. I know what when you do a 180 and you say to yourself, hey, I'm going to take this to the next level. I'm going to believe beyond my vision. I'm going to move forward, even though I probably can't see it. I'm going to trust the process because I believe in the process. Why? Because every time I think I can't do something, I reflect on where I was. And that catapults me even a step further to move yet even further outside my comfort zone and believe for greater. So everything I do, every business I have, got this word believe. And every work that I do, every book that I write, every leadership training that I do, every coaching session that I do, counseling session that I do, takes us back to our beliefs and our mindset that molds and shapes us and really motivates us to do whatever we do in life.
Wow. So now I'm going to hit you with the same questions that folks hit me with, because I'm going to cheat. I'm going to see if I can get you to do some of my work, because I hear people saying all the time, Galen, it can't be you saying all I have to do is believe different. Come on now, it can't be that easy. Galen, you keep saying that I am in the situation that I'm in because of what I've believed in the past, and that I literally want it to be where I am right now. And if I want something different, I've got to believe something. It can't be that easy. Come on now, it can't be that easy. And now you got Nick saying the same stuff you're saying. Come on, Nick, it can't be that easy.
Well, and thank you for that, to pivot that way, because the reality here, Mr. Galen, is this. It's easy to say it. And so in conversation, it may even sound like a creed or doctrine or whatever that looks like. But I need for the listening audience to know that when we say, or certainly myself, say this word believe, you're believing in action. And I want to call us to the understanding that when we are nurturing ourselves up to adulthood, teenagers, trying to find ourselves and learning who we are, through our experiences and our values and beliefs and those that influence us, we consciously and unconsciously create these set of beliefs. And we've got a set of beliefs that work for us, and we got some that hold us back or are limiting us to be where we need to be. Oftentimes, on a day-to-day basis, we're not so much concerned with those that work for us because they're empowered. But we spend our days working on those beliefs that are actually challenges. And the unique thing about it is that the reason they're challenges is because for so many years, the beliefs have been the normal that we subscribe to. It's what I've always told myself. It's what I've always heard. And when those get innately, deeply embedded in our mindset and how we move or self-select out of things, that limits us to the things that we can see, the vision we have for ourselves, the ability to do things, even playing a simple sport. And so when we say believe, it is very much an action thing, but it's work because you got to be willing to let go of something that is not serving you. It's not moving you forward in order to get what you need, but to let that go means I've got to go outside my comfort zone. And even though I might be in a situation of something that's not working for me, it's been my normal for so long, I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
So to say, hey, I can't do that, or I don't have the ability to do that, I've said that to myself for so many years. So while it doesn't bother me, it's actually not serving.
Yeah, yeah. I love that, man. And you remind me, because a lot of times this stuff is generational. A lot of times this stuff is handed down, and you remind me of a story that I love to tell. I share this story quite often. People are often surprised to hear, because I've lived in so many places, they're surprised to hear that I hate the New York Yankees. Hate the New York Yankees. Can't stand the New York Yankees. And the reason I hate the New York Yankees is because my dad hated the New York Yankees. Couldn't stand them. Oh my gosh, just could not. I mean, New York Yankees are playing. He would turn the TV off. We not watching baseball if the New York Yankees are playing. Hate New York Yankees. And You know why he hated the New York Yankees? Because my granddad had never had anything good to say about the New York Yankees. Hated the New York Yankees. Could not stand them. Oh my gosh, his whole demeanor would change if you mentioned the New York Yankees. Before my grandfather passed away, I had a tender moment where I asked him, hey, Granddad, why do we hate the New York Yankees so much? And he said, oh, Galen, it's very simple. As a matter of fact, I used to love the New York Yankees. My favorite player played for the New York Yankees, and I would listen to him play on the radio all the time. And then the New York Yankees traded him to a team outside of my radio listening area. And from that point on, I hated the New York Yankees. Now, that may or may not be a legitimate reason for my grandfather to hate the New York Yankees. But that hatred got passed down 2 more generations. And had I not asked, I wouldn't know the origin of why I hate the New York Yankees. Now, I get to evaluate as to whether or not I want to continue that. But at least now I know the foundation. How many times do we have beliefs that's passed down and we don't evaluate it? Because let me tell you, right now, if you say something good about the New York Yankees, or if you say, Galen, it's silly for you to hate the New York Yankees, that may be technically true, but now you're talking about my granddaddy and we got to fight, right? And that's how a lot of beliefs get passed down if we don't take time to evaluate, why do I believe this thing that I believe? Now clean it up for me, man. That was my story. Get to some science behind that.
That is a great point of to understand, because what oftentimes is the beliefs come forward absent the context. Sometimes we believe things and we don't even know why, because somewhere in the history we accepted some things and it came along for the ride based on things that happened that affirmed the belief. Another example that's really a mindset shifter in terms of just believing is great example of, I had a client, because part of the work that I do includes counseling and therapy. And I had a client who was in a domestic violence relationship. And that's all she knew was this relationship that she was experiencing. And we had got all these systems set up for her to be able to get her children to a safe place and get her housing, get her resources, and get her out of this environment, because she knew and we believed that she needed a fresh start. And we were determined to support her in that. And she was great, all for it. And it got down to action time or go time. And she bailed. And when we sat down with her and asked her, why? Tell us why. And her response to me was, I don't know where you're taking me. And although I know it's better than what I'm going through now, but you're taking me and my children to an experience that for the last 15 to almost 20 years would be outside of our normal. And right now, I know what a black eye feels like. I know what a broken leg feels like. I know what to be pushed around. I know what that feels like. It is my normal. And what you all are trying to do scares me. And so to be able to make the shift in the belief and the mindset that this is greater and better for me, it takes a shifting of the mindset and having that, to your point, rational conversation with yourself. And it's an exercise for us. I always say this. It's an exercise that you got to do with yourself to tell yourself, why is this belief true or certainly not true today? Why does it not serve me today? And what is it that I really want for myself today? Because when you have that mental mindset, and I always say this, even in conversation of having goals to do things, is that you got to think of it this way, is that anytime we want to do something, every last one of us has limitless possibilities, okay? And limitless opportunities. But I will offer to you that how you believe determines how you start. And if you have anything in your mental mindset that would suggest that you can't win, you are going to start differently than someone who believes they will.
It is really, the foundation is in the belief. And I love something that you said earlier. It's one thing to say that you believe, but are you behaving like you believe? Right. And that's the difference. Because any of us say, I think I might win $1 million. Right. I think I might make $1 million. Right. And you can say that, and that's fun to say, and you get a lottery ticket, and that's always fun to imagine what that might be like. But are you behaving as if it's coming your way? Are you behaving as if that's in your future? And that's totally different. That is a totally different situation.
You can manifest. I'm one of those that truly believes if you believe it, you can manifest it. It can actually happen. Early on in my business, I had prepared at the end of the year to launch a new website and put together a new training program. And I had saved, I think it maybe was like $10,000 for this project. I planned, I was going to launch it. It was going to happen in January. I was ready. And as we got to January and the vendors called, a little bird in my head said, "So if you do this project, you deplete your funds." And so what Nick said was, "Yep, I'm ready, but let's follow up in 30 days." So during that 30 days, I'm kind of feeling okay, but the birdie is still talking and saying, "Do you know what this do? Do you really want to do this?" All those things that circle a wagon of doubt, of uncertainty. And so when they called again after 30 days, I said, "I'm almost there. Just give me another 30 days. Okay." So I put it off about 90 days, only to self-assess myself and say, "Nick, what are you doing?" So you've planned for this. So even in things that we've actually planned for, we get in the space to launch. We get in the space to step forward and move forward. And all of a sudden, all of those beliefs that aren't working for us start to circle the wagon, all in the name of protecting us. That's what they're designed to do. But I had to override that program and say, "What are you doing? How did you get here?" "Well, you believed. So how do you think you're going to get any further? You're going to have to believe." And so I pulled the plug, launched, did what I needed to do. But here's the interesting part. In less than, I would say, 30 or 60 days after launching these vendors to do the work for me that they needed to, I got a contract that replenished the money. And from that on, I have shifted my belief around the work that I do and my belief in life around believing and trusting the process. And if I do that in intention, what needs to happen on the sidelines happens. And I could give you countless examples since that time where it continues to evolve, it continues to grow, it continues to do what you do. And oftentimes you'll hear people say, especially for entrepreneurs, and you can attest to this, well, what are you going to do in 6 months, Galen? Well, what are you going to do next year? And I'm often saying, you don't operate as an entrepreneur wishing and hoping. You operate as an entrepreneur as though it is. And so each and every day, I don't say to myself, what am I going to do? I just operate in the space of what I need to do in purpose. And I believe what I do, and it continues to grow and happen.
Hey, it's not too late. Hit that subscribe button so you're sure to catch the next episode. If you're really enjoying the vibe, leave us a review or become a VIP for guest and show exclusives. Cheers.